We've wanted to do this for a long time, I was 22.
I was 20. I was 20 and pregnant with Sage when we bought our first
We
house.
bought our first house.
And we've owned several since then.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
This is a big deal. We've worked our guts out for it.
I don't know why I'm so stressed out about it. Let's go do it.
Get it done. Do I get a congratulations kiss?
Get whatever you want. I almost lost it in front of the freaking teller in there.
Worked and thought about something for so many years, and you finally accomplished that dream and that goal.
And I don't know. You know as well as I do. I don't like being told I have to do anything, and being told I have to pay a certain amount of money to live in this place that we've worked so incredibly hard to have.
Even just when we were renting that house, and to come home and find that notice on your door, like that's a sickening feeling. It's stressful.
There's this idea that we shouldn't worry about the things that we can't control. We should only focus on the things that we can control. This week, we removed one of the major worries from our life that I've wanted to do since I was in my early 20s. And it was a life-changing feeling for me. I've got all of the panels up in place. I was about to climb up there and get on top and secure everything with a few more screws, but I'm too tired. I'm gonna wait till the morning, and then it's a matter of getting the ridge cap on and screwing everything off, and I'm done. We're ready to start moving solar panels. Okay, I worked late last night, and right when I was basically almost finished, I just felt like it was time to get off the roof. I was getting a little tired. All that I have left to do is to screw the roof off, get everything adjusted, make sure it's sitting square. It's not sitting square right now. One of the seams isn't lined up. Screw it off, and then we're ready for solar panels. I need to do the ridge cap, but that won't take very long. The concern that I have on this side is I'm gonna put probably twice as many screws in this side as I did the front side. Truthfully, the least amount of penetrations that I have through the underlayment, the better. But because of how the solar panel mounts work, the solar panel mounts do not mount through into the studs, into the wood. It actually mounts to the tin. So there's no penetrations through the underlayment. For that reason, having all that weight hanging off there, I'm going to put some more screws in just to be safe. Each one of these panels, I figured, weighs somewhere around 5. Each one of these panel arrays, I should say, minus the steel, minus the heavy steel that it sits on. But all the unistrut and solar panels, I figured, weighs right around 620 pounds, something like that. So I know the house structurally is fine with that, but I need to make sure that the roof tin is secured in a way where as the solar panels move around with the wind, different things, they shouldn't move around that much, but there's going to be some minor vibration as we get some wind, that it doesn't slowly do damage to the tin. The roof is basically finished. We are now ready to relocate the solar panel arrays one at a time from the ground mounts to the roof. But I must do this in a way where I never have to worry about it again. I'm not interested in redoing this in a year or two. I've put a tremendous amount of thought and research into how I'm going to do this, and now it's time to do it. I have to do this in a way where 2 of the 3 arrays are still functioning while I'm moving the solar panels from the ground to the roof. We still need the batteries to be charged, and I could use the generator, but I would prefer to use the solar panels. The way the new roof turned out is perfect, and I have all the confidence in the world that it's going to last a very long time. One of the last things that I need to do is install the special roof jacks that are designed for a metal roof, ensuring that we do not have any leaks around the sewer vents or the chimney. When Cedar and I decided to start our own plumbing company, I was in my late 20s and I thought I had everything figured out. The economy was booming at the time, and I assumed it would continue in this way. Earning a living was not that hard to do, money was fast and easy, and there was always work to be done. A few years later, we went through the worst recession in my professional life. We genuinely learned how to make a living during this process. It was a struggle, it was hard, and it taught me a valuable lesson. I don't ever want to be in a position where I could lose all of these things that I've worked so hard for if something like that ever happened again. The roof's done. There's a few little things I need to do with the flashings around the vents and the chimney, but my feet hurt so bad, and that tin has still got enough of an oil residue on it that I'm not doing nothing for a couple days. I may by the end of the week start on the solar panels, but I need to take a couple days and do some other stuff and just let that sit out in the sun, and hopefully a lot of that oil will dissipate and go away. But it looks beautiful, turned out perfect. The front porch, aside from the solar panels, the front porch, dismantling that entire front porch and redoing it at the same pitch the back is really all that I have left to do on the house. And then the siding, but I don't know if I'm going to get to the siding anytime soon. But it looks awesome, and that roof is never going to leak. I'm going to take these rolls of the goat fencing, which is the same fencing that I used on the rest of the property, and see if I can't put it up against the barbed wire and kind of temporarily get it secure enough to where I can move them over to that other side. Mainly because I'm super curious to see what happens when they chew the other side down. On the right hand side, we can now see all the little pieces of maple, all the leftover brush that I need to go back and clean up. And I think the left hand side is just as bad. So I'm hoping that the goats can spend the rest of the fall chewing this left hand side down. Then as a family, we can go up there and make some little piles that need to be burned once we get some rain falling. So that's my goal for the rest of the day. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time doing this because I need to get on the solar panels. This is what the natural woods look like. This is what our property looked like when I bought it. Matter of fact, it was even thicker than this when I bought it. So this is what the lower acreage looks like where I thinned the maple trees. And you can see grass is trying to grow. Last year, this was up to my shoulders and just as thick as can be. And I'm fairly certain that as I move the goats around, that it's just going to cause the grass to come in thicker. So all that I'm going to do is roll the goat fencing right up against the barbed wire. I don't even think I'm going to stretch it tight right now, but on this L-shaped corner of our property, I just need to put something in to keep the goats from going off of our property. But I'm telling you, this next year, I'm gonna thin at least the next 5 acres of our property. The next 5 acres goes back to probably pretty close to that cabin. I'm gonna thin it comparable to this. My kind of rule of thumb is about every 30 feet to have a mature maple tree. But as soon as I get these trees out of the way, it's really a beautiful thing to watch the grass come up through. So goats need feed. I'm hoping I can do this in one day, so we'll see how this goes here. I first met Cedar's grandparents before we got married, and her grandfather showed me this adobe house that he had built with his own 2 hands at the age of 72. As I talked with her grandfather, and he explained to me that he was able to retire very young because they were good with their money and they avoided debt. This left an impact on me. I've said it before and I'll probably say it again, but every dollar Cedar and I have ever earned was earned the hard way. I knew I was never going to be the beneficiary of some pile of cash that someone left behind for me. So if money is something that I worry about, I should find a way to eliminate that worry. I was 22 years old when I bought the first home that our family would live in. After seeing what I would pay for that home over a 30-year mortgage, I decided I would not wait that long to pay it off. I had a goal of being completely debt-free by the age of 40. We may have taken the scenic route to get there, and it may have taken us a few years longer, but the end result is we refused to give up, and we accomplished that goal. If there was ever a piece of property and a home that I was unwilling to lose or give up, it's our little homestead here. I've put too much blood, sweat, and tears to watch it slip through my fingers. And I can tell you that by eliminating the concerns that I have around losing this place, I slept better last night than I've slept in a long, long time. I've already started the process of relocating the solar panels from the ground to the roof. One of the things that I have to take into consideration while doing this is how I will deal with the snow once the solar panels are on the roof. Good girl, you're on the wrong side of the fence, so. This is not something that I want to redo again in a couple of years. And while I may always be looking for ways to improve our property, some of these bigger projects must be done right the first time. One of the other goals that I have around our property is making use of the land that we own. In my mind, every square foot of our property will eventually be cut up into pastures. Most of it will likely be used for livestock, specifically goats. Watching what the goats have done to the hillside thus far confirms that they are probably the best animal at clearing land. They do not hurt the grass like cows do, and they seem to be built for the hills that we have around our home. I'm done for today. Tomorrow I'll get up here and carefully stretch this fence tight. I'll do the same thing down that side. That's basically all I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna turn the goats out on this side and see what they do. I'm really looking forward to see how this turns out. You can see the grass trying to come up under the weeds. I've never seeded anything up here on the hills, and you can see the grass trying to come through. So my hope is that by bouncing the goats back and forth from side to side, they keep the weeds down, the trees are thinned out, and this actually becomes a usable piece of pasture. That's my hope. Normally an ash cake is made with flour and water, maybe a pinch of salt, but they don't taste that good unless you've got some lentil beans or something to spread across them. So we're gonna make them out of Bisquick so the kids might actually enjoy them. Oh, that one's gonna be for me. All you're trying to do is mix your dough and mix it dry enough, yet wet enough that you can make it into a flat pancake. And then we're gonna put it on the fire. And then you seal it up. You want it to be like a little balloon. And look at, use your fingers, but don't poke a hole in the bag. You want me to do it for you, Reedy, or you got it?
Like that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How?
See how there's almost nothing stuck to the sides. Okay, ready? Give me yours, Reedy. No, you're good, dude.
I think mine's good. Oh, that looks good.
Okay, thinner, the thinnest you can do it, the better.
Oh,
Perfect.
burn
I'll
my
help flip them.
fingers.
That's warm. Overcooked. We're gonna get that. Actually, I'm gonna grab these.
How is
See,
that?
flour sticks together better than this one.
You're literally.
It's kind of sticky.
That's really good.
Here, Cal.
It kind of tastes like biscuits.
Okay, we found this rug that we have in our front room just online. It wasn't very expensive, but ever since we've had it, the corners have rolled up and it's driven me nuts. I was just about to duct tape the corners down when I just looked something up online and I saw this little idea. So we're gonna try it today and see if it works, or else this rug is gonna go in the garbage before it hurts somebody. So. Okay, this is just a piece of peel and stick tile that we found. Voila! It works! So happy. One of our family's favorite ways to eat peaches is to slice them up really good and then pour a little bit of heavy whipping cream on top of it. And if you want to, you can sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar, and we'll eat that for breakfast or dessert even sometimes. They're super good. But the one thing about fresh peaches is they go bad pretty fast. So I'm gonna bottle the rest of them. First, I'm gonna just blanch them really quick, and that helps to take the skins off really easily. And then I give those skins to the chickens, and they're gonna be in heaven with those. Then I'll slice them in half, take the pits out, and put them in the jars.
Cedar has spent the last 23 years of our married life learning things like canning, learning to make bread in a way that our family loves it. And many of these traditional things she had to learn her own way. She takes tremendous pride in being a mother and a homemaker, and I love consuming these things that she makes. There is nothing better than a slice of homemade bread that your lovely wife made for your family. The same thing goes for these peaches. These are local peaches that were grown not too far from us. And I'm telling you, you've never had a peach out of a can from a factory that tastes the way that one of Cedar's bottled peaches tastes. You'll have to trust me on this. This coming Sunday's video will be the first step in relocating the solar panels. I'm still finishing up the fencing around the goats and getting the goats moved, but over the next week to 2 weeks, it will be all about the solar panels. Good stuff.